Hey guys, so this is the video that I've been wanting to make in almost 2 months, and I've been hesitating just because of everything else that's been going on. But today's the day because everybody, tomorrow I go back to work, and if I don't do this video now, I don't think I'll ever do this video. So yeah, bear with me if I seem really confused because it's been literally almost 2 months and my brain is all over the place. I'm not going to remember detail. And initially, I wrote down some notes step by step because I don't want to miss any details. But I might miss some, I might not, who knows. But I'll be looking up and down and because I want to be specific about every detail. So yeah. So yeah, my birth, labor, and delivery story. So, as you guys know, I delivered a very cute baby girl, which you guys have seen already. My little precious baby Ava. Um, I had a really good pregnancy. It wasn't too bad, like most of my friends told me, or what people have told me what they experienced in the past with their kids and stuff. Um, I had issues the first 2 months probably, especially when I first found out that I was pregnant. March 11th, I took the test and positive, and of course made an appointment right away just to be sure and requested blood work just to be positive because just never thought I could get pregnant. I was never pregnant before. So yeah, only symptoms I had was just dizziness, nausea, just wanting to sleep, and extremely fatigue. And then when it got to the third trimester and so forth, I was back to myself again and just hyper and a lot of energy and no more of the symptoms and stuff. Um, it didn't happen officially at third trimester. I think after the first 3 months or so. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean. But at the beginning, it was horrible. It was horrible. Okay, so going forward, getting close to pushing baby Eve out. Technically, didn't even push. So, like the last 2 weeks before my due date, I was having this pelvic pain. It was a little sore in the bottom when I walk, heavy feeling, and one weekend I was with her dad. We went to watch a movie, and it just felt really weird. Like she dropped even lower. Like it was sore down under, very uncomfortable to walk, and I was slowly starting to waddle. And I was doing that at work too the week after. Um, and of course, I was peeing a lot. Um, and my due date was November 16th, and all the checkups and everything was always normal. So I'm looking at the calendar and I'm like, I gotta look at it. I'm sorry, guys. Renting's gonna be annoying. So November 13th, 2015. That is a Friday. That was a Friday. For some reason, I don't know, but I eat like the same stuff in the morning. My glass of milk, granola bar. I think that's what I had that day. And for some reason, like right before lunchtime, like maybe an hour before 12 or something, I had this really bad stomach aches. And have in mind, I mentioned that I did have stomach aches off and on, like the same kind of pain I had when I was a little kid. I had stomach aches so many times, like I don't know what was wrong, but I hated it. But that was the same pain. So I'm like, maybe I ate something wrong, and then I had to force myself to throw up. It sort of felt better because one time I had that stomach ache, I threw up like crazy because I ate really late. It felt better, but this time after throwing up, and I threw up in a patient's room, nobody was around, but I was in so much pain. I was literally gonna go home that day, but I was like, I had stuff to do, finish things off, and I hate the feeling of like leaving and leaving other people to do my stuff, even though I have good reason not to be able to finish it. And I'm sniffling. So my stomach was hurting. I threw up in the trash can, and I just kind of dealt with it, and it finally slowly faded away, and I had lunch later on. And yeah, moving forward, the weekend came by. This is after November the 13th. Saturday comes by. Just, feeling uncomfortable, nothing major, no more stomach pains or anything. And then on Sunday the 15th, I woke up in the morning, went to the bathroom in the morning, I was fine. Went back to sleep. It was still early, so I went back to bed. And then when I woke up the second time to go pee, probably 10, 11, I don't remember. Went to the bathroom, I saw blood dripping on my panties. And I'm like, I can't be in my period. And it's flowing and I keep laughing at this because I told my doctor it is the color of cranberry. What's it called? A cranberry cocktail drink or whatever. Cranberry juice. I had to look at my notes. I'm all over the place, can't think. That's how much I can describe it. It was the color of cranberry juice. And I, finished peeing. Told my mom bleeding. She's like, oh, that means she's coming. She's coming. Like, oh shit. And I remember reading about something called bloody snow. And that is a big sign that baby's ready to come out. If she comes out. So what else? So yeah. So Monday comes by. Initially, my appointment was supposed to be, now I gotta think, I'm gonna confuse myself, hold up. Okay, got it. So initially, my next follow-up visit was supposed to be November 17th. And that was just my usual weekly checkup to make sure the baby's okay, yada yada, press on my belly, check my cervix, stuff like that. But since I was bleeding on Sunday night, I called and asked if I can come early because I'm bleeding and I was feeling sore and just very uncomfortable ever since that bloody snow showed up. So they were able to squeeze me in. So, yeah, I went in, told them what happened. I was very uncomfortable and yada yada. So I ended up seeing, I think, my nurse practitioner. Yeah, sometimes I see my nurse practitioner, sometimes I see my actual doctor. So they end up, let's see, yeah. I got checked at my OB office. They checked my cervix. I believe, yeah, she said I was 1 centimeter dilated. And since that was my due date, the 16th, they admitted me just to check and see what's going on. I was like, oh shit. So I end up going to the labor and delivery maternity department at the hospital that I planned on delivering my daughter, which is, convenient because that's where I work too. So I check in the area. Thank God I did a maternity tour because then I've been lost and having a panic attack. So make sure you do your maternity tour whether you're single or not. So I got checked in, got called pretty quickly. So they had me go to this area, like a triage room where they monitored you. And I was hooked up with a blood pressure cuff on one side and this band thingy-majiggy. You think I would know things, and I work in the medical field, but don't judge me, hashtag. So anyway, I was hooked up with the blood pressure cuff on one side and the band that monitors the baby heartbeat, and the whole time when you're sitting and shit, you hear the baby's heartbeat, doop, 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 doop. And they did mention baby's very happy and healthy, from the sounds of her heartbeat and stuff. So I was there for 3 hours. They were getting worried because my blood pressure was extremely high. It was like in the 160s, 170s, and I've never had high blood pressure. I'm like, what's going on, And that's scary too because it can affect me and it can stress out the baby. So they kept me there for hours and hours, and also I told them about the bloody snow and that liquid. I keep forgetting to tell you, including with the bloody snow, I was also feeling liquid coming out, and I wasn't sure if my water broke or what the hell that was, but it was a liquidy feeling, almost like you're peeing on yourself. But they checked the fluids, and an hour later told me it's negative. It wasn't my water breaking. It was just the extra fluids and blood work and stuff they were checking for what for, but it was negative too. And of course they checked if I was even more dilated, the same 1 centimeters dilated, but it kept me long because they wanted to monitor my blood pressure. And my doctor did come see me and told me everything was negative, and that he asked me when my next appointment was. I'm like, it was actually tomorrow initially, but I came in today because of this. And he's like, oh, okay, well, just come in tomorrow in the morning after 9 o'clock instead of your actual appointment. So, now I gotta double check what happens next. Are you guys getting excited yet? Also, want to let you guys know that when I was having those really bad pains when I was walking and stuff, especially when I was going to use the restroom like the week before my due date, I will get this really sharp pain that will last for a couple seconds. I'm like, oh, and then it'll go away. And then it will happen like sometimes every 30 minutes, every 20, every hour. So yeah, I wasn't sure if they were like contractions or backstrap because I didn't have any other symptoms, and I was telling the girls in the front I work with, they're like, you need to get checked, you need to get checked. I'm like, no, because I hate going to see doctors, and I hate to be one of those patients who go in every single time for every single little itty bitty thing. I just want to go in when it's time. That's how I am. So yeah, that pain. So then like that weekend, after the bloody snow, after getting checked in the middle of the night, OMG. My mom literally went into my bedroom and laid with me all night long. I freaking screamed. And so when I got checked in the next day, when I woke up on Sunday and saw bloody snow, and then the Monday I went in to go get checked initially for my actual appointment date, my nurse practitioner said, oh, that's Braxton Hicks. And then later to find out, they were actually contractions. But it was weird because when I was having contractions, it would show in a graph and I was getting monitored, but I didn't feel it. So I'm confused. But it was either contractions or Braxton Hicks, but they were pain. Like, it feels really good when someone rubs your back, but not just rubbing your back. They have to like touch a specific spot. I don't know if it's me or any of you ladies out there know what I'm talking about. Like, my mom rubbed me in the right area, and like it will like subside. And sometimes I think it's mentally, like she's rubbing me so my brain can think about something else. I don't know, but I was like laying in bed, like, scream, like it's that feeling of someone shocking the shit out of you, and you don't know when it's gonna happen. It comes out of nowhere. You're like, yeah. And yes, it is worse than a tattoo pain. Yes. So, when I came in to see my doctor on my actual appointment date, I came in early in the morning because my doctor told me to instead of 4 o'clock, checked me out. I told her I was really him. Wait, I saw my other doctor actually. I have too many doctors there. I saw my female actual OB doctor. She delivers too. I didn't really like her at the beginning, but she was kind of cool at the end. But he checked me. I was still at 1 centimeters dilated. But yeah, that Monday I was so uncomfortable, and when I was sitting in the waiting room, like, oh God, where it was, contractions, backstrap, I don't know, but I was so uncomfortable. My belly was really out there. I wore my yoga raggedy pants, my t-shirt, my hospital jacket because I want to look cool and like treat me well because I work here too. Yeah, so I got admitted. My doctor filled out papers and stuff, and I'm like, oh, lordy lord. So yeah, I got called in. I was getting monitored at the same triage area. This time it was a little bit longer before they called me in. They were full too, and of course they monitored for a while. They told me that they're still waiting for my room to be ready. I guess it took forever. And had me wrapped like the day before. My blood pressure was high that whole time during my whole stay at the hospital until my daughter came out. So have in mind, I think the stress and me not feeling good caused it to go high. I mean, I've never had any blood pressure issues before. It's always 120 to 110, but during the pain and everything, like 160, 170, and later I had a fever too. Um, so yeah, finally room was available and they transferred me into my delivery room. Um, so yeah, so this is when it gets close, you guys. Are you ready? Are you ready? So this is gonna be the hard part because I thought they would list of all the medications that they gave me during my stay, but they didn't. Only the actual pills that they gave me at the end after the baby was born and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know how that works. But so basically, when I was at the hospital, at the delivery room, they were trying to get me dilated for days and days. Not days and days, for 2 straight days. They had me put this ball under my thigh and lay sideways and switch the other way. And my doctor, I'm all over the place, but you will get the idea. And then my doctor actually had to break my water with this needle, and then I also had a catheter put in. I never thought I would have that experience, a catheter. Now I know what it feels like because I used to work at the urologist's office and all our patients had catheters put in after their surgeries. I'm like, oh god. But it wasn't painful, it's just like uncomfortable. And have in mind, you get so tired of spreading your legs in a good way because you're at the hospital. Like getting fingered every freaking 30 minutes or whatever, like over and over and over again. Like literally I'm like like damn. Yeah, and then I was at what, I can't remember exact numbers, but I finally got to 5 centimeters, and that was like the last straw. They gave me Pitocin. I probably said it wrong. I'll put it up here. I can't think. I'm not a nurse. And then they were saying something about putting a higher dose of that, yada yada. No changes whatsoever. And it sucked. Thank God my mom gave me a muffin and I ate in the morning before I went to my OB office that day before I got admitted. Can't eat. Like I was told you couldn't eat, but still I packed stuff, those little crackers and stuff that I did. All I could have was ice chips and popsicles, and I was hungry. I was hungry until I was allowed to eat again, which was a day, evening later. So, and then like the contractions starting getting really, really bad. And have in mind, I told you guys I did not want epidural. I did not want epidural. I did not realize this was the kind of pain I was going to endure. Oh my god, I was screaming. I was grabbing on one side of the board at one point. Like I was miserable. Like I was flushed. I was pale. And I'm already, like this. Like a train hit you thousands and thousands of times. I cannot describe that pain. It was getting intense, and you can see by grab. It was like woo, and like that's contractions. I'm like, you think? But the nurse I had was really, really, really great until later. After the baby was born, I had some retarded ass nurses. But this one was just uber, uber wonderful. So if I came to the point like, shit, I need epidural, and the only reason I was like holding on to it and like it's dealing with the pain because my mom was like, don't get an epidural, don't get an epidural, like for months, and I was trying to prove a point, of course, and yada yada, and then I think she's thinking of something else, and it turns out my other cousin had an epidural because it's too painful, and she's like, something, so I don't know, but my mom like mentally brainwashed me about that I shouldn't get an epidural, just deal with it. But I'm like, I'm getting it. I am getting it. Give it to me now. Like, literally. And the anesthesiologist came in. It was so embarrassing because, I had breakouts in my back and stuff. I'm like, but it's so true. When you are in that kind of pain and you've been fingered and having to open your legs so many times, you don't give an F about who sees your vajayjay, who sees you half naked, if you have scars and whatever on your ass crack and whatever, it don't matter. Yeah. So had me sit up straight, my arms was on my mom. I'm like, oh Lord. And then it's like this bee sting. He's like, don't jump. I'm like literally like so drained from screaming and in pain. I literally almost wanted to faint because of everything happened all at once. So it felt kind of cold and yada yada. And so moving forward a little bit, my pains come and go, and this other lady came in and they suggested another type of medication. I don't know the name of it, but it goes through the same tube as where they did my epidural. Something else was up here and they injected it and it feels really, really cold and it would help the contractions. But they did mention that if I get it too early, it won't last too long because the first dose works really good, but when you get a second dose of it, it doesn't last that long. That makes sense. I'm like, okay, wait a few more minutes or whatever, like 30 minutes or whatever. So I got that. It felt better, yada, yada, yada. And of course, still checked, yada, 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 yada. We're getting close to the end, I think. And so, still not dilated. After turning me in different directions, positions with the ball and everything, still nothing. And, after I think I went kind of blank. So with the changing of the doses of the Pitocin and the other medication, it helped my pain, but trying to get me dilated was like useless, nothing. And my blood pressure was going really high. Ava's heartbeat was going cray because of the stress she was going through in there. Like she needs to come out. And then they didn't freak out until what happened next. So my nurse was going back and forth with my doctor. I could tell she went in and out of my room and talking to her, but I could tell she was on Dr. Ritchie because she did dial her in front of me at one point. So I can't remember how she could tell when she was checking me, but basically she told me, oh, Ava pooped inside you. So that was a huge sign. So they gotta hold my doctor. Basically, she pooped inside me. You know, she can get all this, again, the words like bacteria infection and yada yada, and she gets sick from it, and bad things will happen. That's all I gotta say. Bad things. So that's when they decided I'm gonna have a C-section, an emergency C-section, and of course my doctor came and explained to me yada yada yada. And then she did mention like if something were to happen and she found something, it might affect me, and then I would have to get a hysterectomy along with it. But none of that bad stuff happened or they found, so I was fine. So they were getting the OR room ready and prepped and everything. They had to shave my pubic area. Yes, I told you that pubic area. I'm like, ugh. Yeah, and then cleaned my area. Of course, you know, her dad was not there. Figures. My mom was there the whole time. My sister was there too, but not in the delivery room. So she had to wear like this outfit thing in my jeans. She looked like an astronaut and a cap. And so did I. Took a picture and stuff. And there's a sweet nurse assistant. But she was becoming a nurse, but she was volunteering and helping out. Intern, whatever you're going to call it. She was really sweet too. So, took me to the OR room. I was panicking. There were like so many people in there, like nurses, like I don't know who's who anymore. I can't remember. There's a doctor that handles this part. There's another person that handles this part. I don't know. I can't remember. There was a lot of people in there. But it was amazing. And then it got really cold and I got kind of nervous because they were putting more stuff in me or pain meds or whatever. I don't know. And then it was really, really cold. Like, like that. And oh my gosh, so when they cut the incision, when you make the incision, you can still feel it. Not the pain, but like the pressure. It's such an awkward feeling. And then you can feel when they're like lifting the flap. Like I can't see it because they put the Oh, I can't think right now. The blue cover thing. You guys know what I'm talking about. Oh, look. I'm so fat now, you guys. Look. That, ew. So they covered me with that thingy majiggy. This is what happens when you haven't done surgery in a long time. You can't remember shit. There's, oh my god, I can't remember. I'm gonna go with Psycho. Jesus Christ. I literally just went in Google and tried to figure out what it's called, but I can't think right now. But it's that light blue cover drape thingy majiggy that they use a lot when you're doing surgery or whatever. So anyway, they told me that I'm gonna feel some pressure. Yeah, I sure did. I was really cold and I was strapped also with like a belt and strap type buckle thingamajiggy, laying flat. And it's cold and there's so many people and there's sounds. I hear it clamping. I don't know what happened next, but oh, I was like, oh. I made those sounds because that's when like the pain and pressure was so weird and it did hurt, but not like hurt, if that makes sense. But I felt it. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, I felt like a woof pressure. That's all I can remember. Like I don't know what happened next. It's been so long. And then I heard a cry, and that's when I'm like everything rushing, like, and I heard one nurse ask my mom, "Is she crying because she's in pain? She's crying because she's happy?" And yada yada. And I think my mom said, "Yeah, she's happy crying or something." Oh, and my mom did this to me a lot. And I'm like, I want to see my baby, and I was just so emotional, and it felt like forever when they had to like weigh her, clean her up, and whatever they have to do. It felt like forever, but it was really quick. But when you're laying there and going through all of this stuff, your adrenaline on and shit happens, your hormones, your blood flowing, pain. I did ask for oxygen because I was afraid that I was gonna have like a panic attack or something. I was able to breathe, but just in case, I did ask for oxygen. I'm like, just give it to me. Brenda asked for it, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I was like shaking. So my mom could have held her, of course, until later. I don't remember if they put the baby on me right away or not. I think when they moved me into another resting area, that was when they had Ava on me. And I did that and sniffed her and kissed her. It was weird. Have in mind, I did not have that like emotional connection on that day or days after. We'll talk about that in another video. Yeah, I was like, okay, a little person on me, like, how? Deep down, like I know she's my daughter, but it's like weird. But that little girl knew how it sucked right away. We showed her where my boobs was, and she was like, whoa, it was awkward. I thought I'd freak out. Thought of something else sucking your boobs. But my daughter. But yeah, it was cute, and she was 8 pounds and 11 ounces. To think about how the heck would she be able to come out of there. In a sense, I did feel like I cheated giving birth, but all her tests were negative, because they were afraid that she would swallow my poop. Did I tell you yet? That's why I had a C-section. I'm crazy right now. I had the C-section because she pooped inside of me, and they were afraid that she would swallow her own poop, and that would be like a bad thingamajiggy. But all the tests were negative and great. She passed her hearing test. She passed every single thing they could do to test a child in case of any diseases and whatever. Good. So yeah, that was my birth story. I think it's a beautiful thing. Would I do it again? Hell yes. Hopefully with the right person, but either way, it's a beautiful thing. I I could never forgive myself if I chose the other direction, which was to get an abortion, and that was the first thing that popped in my mind when all this was happening. But after all the pain and suffering, I had to deal with, the relationship with my mother, stuff that happened to me that hurt me psychologically until now affected how I felt about life and things and having a child and yada yada. But everything worked out the way it should be. God was always there for me, and I have a beautiful baby girl, and I named her Ava Jolene, and she has my last name, of course. That might change in the near future. I don't know, but I had a C-section, and I was at the hospital for until what did I leave? I remember now. So we left to go home on the 21st. So I was there for a couple of days. I was there what since the 16th. I was there. 17th. Yeah, 17th. Um, my final admission. So yeah, I had so much more to say. I do have much more to say. So finally get to eat. First meal, I was on a diet, a strict diet, liquids only. And later, when I finally was able to have water, and they told me, don't go up it all at once. When she left, OMG. Like, I was so thirsty, like dehydrated. Like, I don't care about food. Well, I did, but that liquid made me so happy. Oh my gosh, the taste of water was so good. You have no idea. Oh, and the pain and having to wear a giant diaper because you'll be bleeding. You'll be bleeding. I did not realize you'll be bleeding that much. Um, just because in my mind, C-section, I shouldn't be bleeding because baby didn't come out with JJ, so no mess up stuff down there. I don't know. But you have to wear a diaper and moving after they did stitches. They did something glue stitches and it fades away in time, which it has. Oh my god, it was trying to move, trying to maneuver was very painful. Like I want to die. It's very hard when you need to walk and go pee and bend and stuff like that and you can't. Those simple things that you can do every single day, but with that you can't, and it's so frustrating and so painful. Someone has to help you literally go to the restroom the first 2 days, and then I was allowed to walk by myself. I had to force myself to learn how to walk again with the pain to get stronger, and laying in that bed and trying to lay on a certain way, and everything is so slow. And of course, holding Ava too, even when I got home, was very difficult. But it healed. It healed. Unless someone punches me or something, which my little cousin did, the pain came back. It's like sore off and on, but the first month, it was the first 2 3 weeks. Oh, I don't remember. Like the first 2 weeks, I'll say it was very uncomfortable because the stitches were healing, the stitches were fading, the incision was closing up, yada yada, you know. And then the excess glue like scrape off or whatever, and then I went to my OB visit and she helped me take some stuff off that was still on me, and just regular shower or whatever. But I'm so glad to be able to walk and stuff. But initially, when you get home, you're not supposed to do anything extraneous or whatever, going up and down the stairs, which I did anyway. Depending on you, so just be careful and see what your doctor says. But that's what my doctor told me. Don't do any going up and down the stairs, no bending, no heavy lifting, stuff like that, which I did. I'm a bad patient, I'm telling you. And then, and the last thing, I did not realize that you'll be bleeding forever and ever and ever. My bleeding finally stopped like what 2 weeks ago, and then I had my actual period, which I did not realize until a couple days later. And I'm like, it's cramping and it hurts and it just feels different. I was hurting a lot down there, and I was literally like wearing pants for 2 months. 2 months of wearing pants. Yes. It's funny when you don't have your period for like almost a year. It's like you forgot all about it. I'm like, oh, what is this? And it will come and go, and it's like the blood, the old blood from the insides, and yada yada. I don't know, you know what I mean. But I just didn't have that in mind. Even when I Googled, I didn't hear people talking about bleeding forever. And for some reason, I thought I wouldn't get my period until like maybe a couple months later, not like recently. So yeah, went to get my checkups and everything, and yay. And then also, I just want to make sure I tell you guys everything. Um, I just, oh, come on. I'm getting excited because I'm almost done. Let's think what I'm about to say. I literally had to like sit there and like think what the F I was gonna tell you. So, wanted to mention that when I got home, I lost my appetite. I couldn't eat. I was just so tired and weak and could barely eat, and I was losing weight tremendously. Like I was at 204 the last time they weighed me when I got admitted the final day, and then when I got home, I was like in the 170s, and then they got down to like 175, and that was my lowest. And then I started eating after Thanksgiving. Even on Thanksgiving Day, I was like eating very, very little, which that's not normal for me during the holidays. And then Christmas time came around, I was eating yummy and cooking and stuff, and then other shit happened, whatever. But I was eating until now. I'm like eating like crazy, like I'm always craving for something. Like I can never have enough of anything. So basically, long story, make it short, overeating here and going through shit. I am 180, 182. And I don't know when I'm gonna work out, yada yada, but I hope you guys have an idea of what I went through during my labor and delivery. And I finally did it. I almost didn't want to do it just because I was waiting so long, but that is how much I can tell you. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me, or if you guys want me to do like another video with specific questions, that would be cool to write down, and maybe I can do like an extra side video on questions that you guys have. So that'd be cool. But I would like to do another video, like a pre and post and stuff. Not really a pre and postpartum depression, because along with stuff that I was going through, I will explain that in a separate video. But this is pretty much what happened to me: pain, cramp, down under for a couple seconds, Braxton Hicks, contractions, ow, epidural, yay, babe pooped, C-section, she came out, wah, 8 pounds 11 ounces, wah, and welcome to motherhood. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Rate, comment, subscribe, and thank you to all my supporters. Yes. Alright, bye.